Hi, and welcome to the Green with Tiffany podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Page, and in this show, we'll explore topics of sustainable living, all aspects of health and wellness, of people and planet, and how we're all interconnected. Join us on this journey to live better and more sustainably by improving our health, our families, and the world with the choices that we make. Hi, and thanks so much for joining us today. I am excited to start a new year. And since everybody is, on the forefront of getting in good shape and they're talking about feeling good and looking good, I thought, what better way than the inside out? So today we're going to be talking with Karin Nahmani. Hi, Karin. How are you?
How are you?
I'm so good. And so I thought it was a good time to, this is a good time that people reflect inward. They want to take care of themselves, and it's a time where they give themselves permission for a little self-care, usually at the beginning of the year. So I had a colonic recently and I wanted to share it with you. So Karin here is a certified colon hydrotherapist, and she is also a naturopathic doctor with a degree from Medi College in Israel. And she has been the owner for the last 25 years of the Pure Center. It's a digestive health and colonics clinic in Los Angeles, and I'm a client. So welcome, Karin. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy.
Welcome. Yeah. She also recently wrote a book called Shit Isn't a Dirty Word. And we can say shit on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk poop. And she also has a podcast under the same name, right?
Yeah.
So what I really wanted to talk about, because I think, people don't really like to talk about poop so much. I love to talk about poop. I'm all about it.
I know, me too.
And I think if you're a mom or even a pet owner, I think it's just a common dialogue. But I know some people, they don't even want to look at their poop. They want nothing to do with it, But I think it's so important. And I think the first time I heard it sort of in a mainstream way was, I think, with Oprah and Dr. Oz. And I remember, I don't think I saw the episode, but I remembered hearing headlines or something, about consistency or what you should look for. And
Colors, yeah, it was about, I think it was about 15 years ago, maybe more, because I was in shock. I was like, oh my God, someone is talking about it finally.
So what got you into this area of your healing and your holistic health and your, naturopathic journey?
I always like to say I came into the business from the back door.
I love that you're funny about the whole thing.
I think I was born with some healing, with something in me, with some power of heal. It's always drawn me to heal people, to touch people. What's really got me into that business was the fact that my dream was to work with cancer patients, and I've been participating through my college years, treating cancer patients, and one of the methods was colonics. Well, we work with the Anvigamor program, which was very new about 25 years ago. And I guess I fell in love with the actual, not the process, more like the actual feeling of it. When I saw a smile on people's face from nothing, really. I mean, doing chemo, backing them up, obviously, having all that poison in their body, it's just like intense as is. And what seems to be very simple for people, like, oh, I'm going to the restroom in the morning, or I'm pooping. For those people, it's not easy. Some of them don't go and don't use the restroom for weeks. And it's all just result of medication. And no one else will tell them, like, oh, go clean yourself. Go clean yourself from those toxins. So just seeing that smile on someone's face when we clean them, and they're like just breathing, like, oh my God, I can breathe finally. And it's less toxin. That means that the system is not heavier in so much poison. Made it for me. I mean, and I think it called me more than I called that. I don't know. I was just good at that. And it just talked to me, it just talk to me. And in the past 25 years, that's what I do. I do touch people and teach people how to look differently in life, and change some small things, and teaching people that beauty really comes from inside out, not the opposite. That's my thing. And yeah, I'm working with cancer patients even today. I mean, I love what I do, and I'm cooperating pretty much everything, all my knowledge, to one treatment. So
And it's not just about colon cancer per se. It's about cancer in general that you
it's in
were working
general.
with.
Yeah, it's in general cancer patient, or even long-term medication, or other disease, or just chronic constipation, or just people that just want to clean, or people that wants amazing start point to lose weight, or just clean in general, acne, headaches, migraines, depression, fertility, so many things. I mean, if I could just name all the things that colonic can touch, it's amazing. And how many knows about it? Depressing.
I know, it's so amazing that it has so many benefits. It's been around for a long time, a form of a therapy flush of your waste from the colon. I was reading it dates back to like 1500 BC. So it's not new. I don't know where this went.
No. Yeah, you know what? 6,000 years ago, obviously they didn't call it colonics, but they use the same methods. And, you know, if you look back on your heritage, parents, grandparents, back in the days when people had stomachache or constipation or fever, they used to have enema, or from the other hand, drinking senna tea. I mean, every culture and their own method. But again, we're going back to cleaning from inside out, not the opposite. And that's how they relieve so many things. I mean, we're in 2023 that there is more depression and anxiety. Back in the days, you know, if you ask your parents, they didn't have those. This is as my father tell me, that this is the 20th century disease. It's new things.
It is. It's new things. And it stems from, you know, I think about nutrition is probably 80% of our problem. And then, you know, fitness, another 20%. But people aren't really, you know, you don't think about your colon. I don't think anyone, and the colon is the large intestine.
Yeah.
And I don't think we think about it, right? And how long is this in our body? It's a pretty big portion of our body, right?
Yeah, it's the colon itself, it's 5.7 feet long. So imagine that whole tube is full with waste, with fecal matter, with everything we drink or eat or inhale. I mean, it's not just food. And that's how people think, oh, I ate, you know, something good, so I might be healthy. No, it's even if you're healthy or eating healthy food, you still can be backed up and you can still have other problems, and you still need to clean your system out, you know. I don't know anybody that is that clean, including me. And I do colonics at least once a week to twice a month. Depends if I'm going out more, I will clean myself more. So, you know, it's about really cleaning yourself with everything, not just with colonics, but with everything. And the fact that we are using the restroom in the morning doesn't mean that, oh, I digested everything. You know, it's like, and this is the mistakes people have. Because let's laugh about it. How many times you ate corn and you saw it in the morning?
I don't eat corn anymore, but yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, but corn doesn't digest. So immediately you're going to see it, but it doesn't mean you eliminate everything you ate in that dinner. So
that's true. I tell you what, I had a beet juice, a red juice, and then there was redness, and I thought I had colon cancer. I was so scared, and somehow it came up. I mean, I'm pretty open with my mom, and we talked about it, and she asked me, "Did you have beets?" And I said, I did. And so I was put at ease, but I didn't even know.
Yes. Yep. Beets can color your poop or pee in red. So yeah, you don't bleed. And there is a little bit different in the color. I think the beets, it's a little bit more red, purple per se than just deep red of blood. And as I always suggest to people, second time, look again. You know what? If you have poop that is red for 2, 3 consistent days, probably you have a problem. Go do something about it. But also go back to what we eat. It can be also very orangey because of beta carotene in carrots. And the moms of us, when our kids go to birthday party and they eat cupcakes.
Do they get
And
sprinkles?
it comes blue. No, when the poop comes blue or green or yellow, that's a cupcake. That's food coloring. So
Amazing that it goes through. So let's take people through for ones that don't even know what this colonic is. So, and we can talk openly. I'm super open about my experience because my brother gave me 2 colonics with Karin, and that's how I met you. And so we can actually preface it by, I know everybody's different as far as how many you need on a recommendation it depends on what your needs are and what your ailments are if you're having any. Now, I didn't have any in particular, right? So I just came to kind of a general cleanse. And so I did 2. So I guess the first question is, what is the recommendation on amount? And then we can take people through.
Okay. So first of all, colonics as procedure, like we said before, it really depends on the person, because if you have problem, you probably need more. If you don't have, probably less. The basic recommendation for everybody, whether you had it or not, whether you're very healthy or not, it's between 3 to 6 sessions. I recommend to do them close. At least the first 3 you want to do either every other day, every day, or once a week. You don't want to spread them too much.
So, oh no, I got to get on my next one then. I didn't do it.
So, and that's fine. But at least you start with something between 3 to 6. And again, it depends. If you have chronic constipation, you're probably going to need more than even 6. But as we go, and as your experience show as well, each time you get to see the whole, the entire 9 yards of shit, what I'm saying. Get to see everything. It's not story tales. It's not go home and think about it. What you see is what you get, really. So I'm consulting with you. You're a big part of the process. So I explain you everything I see, whether it's blockages, gas, old stuff, fecal matter, candida. There is so many things that I can get through just the colors. And according to that, I will recommend you, okay, let's do it tomorrow, or we can wait 1 week. It's really up to what comes out. So it's very important to choose also your therapist that he's going to tell you the truth and not tell you stories, And this is the first thing I would do. Like I said, between 3 to 6 sessions, that's amazing amount. After that, you can do once a month for maintenance. If you choose not to, you can do the same package twice a year, or as I love to say, after the holiday, before the summer, it's a great thing to do. And the best thing about colonics is that your body will tell you when it's the time, because when you know the difference between being clean and not, your body will tell you, okay, let's go clean yourself. You know what? You indulge too much. Let's clean. And you feel that. You really feel it. So, yeah, this is my recommendation to do it. I know when people will read about it, they're going to say, oh, it's dangerous. Don't do a lot. You can be addicted. There is a lot of negative things also. Remember, we can be addicted to everything, to the gym, to spray tan, to good food, to juices. Do everything in moderation. Trust your therapist that is going to give you the right amount and the truth about what you need. And also take a look at what comes out of you. That's the best indication. If you feel good, that's the best indication, at least for me.
Can you do too many?
Not, what? I'm sure you can, but I'm doing it for 25 years. I don't think I ever did too much on a person, because I'm very responsible for their health more than anything else. And that's what comes down to me. It's like very important to to say, okay, let's stop right now. Let's take a vacation of a month or two. You can always pass those things. But if you're a good therapist, you'll know how to say no. So, yeah.
Because I wonder if people, do they rely on them for their bowel movement? And, obviously your gut flora, you're cleaning everything out. So you want to put the good flora back in, right?
Of course. And this is the first recommendation I always going to have, is to put back probiotics. Obviously, when we clean good and bad. But from the other hand, if you're not going to clean, you're going to kill all the good bacteria. So regardless, take your probiotics. And about using, people can use colonics for weight loss or anorexia. But again, you really need to be honest with yourself as a therapist, and to see, if you come to me every day and I see, that something is wrong, so it's my job to tell you enough. I had it once in the past 25 years, and I was very happy to tell the person, you know what, I don't want to accept you anymore, because I think you don't need them. And a person needs to know when it's too much. But yeah, there is not too much of it.
Right. But that you don't usually see that. So that's good. I'm pretty open, so it wasn't a big deal to me to come. And you're very open as well, and very welcoming. And you don't feel so, oh my gosh, what am I about to do? And I'd actually had one before a long time ago, so it wasn't completely foreign to me. But for somebody who's never done this, I think people get very, nervous, embarrassed. What are you going to see? What is this about? And people think about their booty as something to come out and not to go in, and what are you seeing? What does that look like? I mean, so I just wanted to say, when you go there, and the other one I went to a long time ago was the same. You put on a gown, and although I don't really remember the first one I did too much with this other place before I met you, but you're so easy about it. I mean, this is funny though. You had the tube and on the tube, I think was like a little lump of coconut oil, right?
Yeah. I'm using only natural stuff that we can actually eliminate later. Yeah. Coconut oil will be the thing.
And I saw that, and I don't know what I asked you, but I just remember my response was, okay. And I sort of screeched a little in a way like, okay. And it sounded like a parrot. Anyway, I told my guy this story, and now he keeps, anytime you say, oh, okay, he says it the way I said it to you, which was just, okay. Kind of funny. So yeah, so you've got this tube with the coconut oil on it, and you just kind of roll over gently, and it's actually pretty quick, and you really don't feel it too much.
Really, I must say that the procedure itself, if I'm going to explain it, it sounds really bad.
Right.
Do it's much easier. I usually don't show the tube to people, but sometimes they see it, sometimes they don't. But it's really quick. It's not that I'm looking at anybody's ass for more than a second.
Right.
I can do it blindfolded as well, but you're fully covered. So yeah, as far as your intimates, everything is covered. You roll on the side. We push together, or I push the tube in, and then I roll you back. So you're laying on your back covered. And then I cover you with a nice blanket so you can be warm. Again, I chose as a therapist to give you the feeling that you go into a spa and something that hug you versus clinic and something cold. Because the procedure itself, yes, it's not the most pleasant thing ever, but it's not a big deal. It's just uncomfortable. And the feeling that is uncomfortable is the feeling that you feel like to poop. And if you ask me, the actual procedure of pushing water in and out is, I think,
I didn't think it felt bad. I don't think it's uncomfortable. I think what it is new. It's a new feeling, right? And so you might not be used to it. And so you might tense up because you're like, what am I going to experience? And your fear comes from the not knowing versus what's actually happening.
The unknown. Yeah. And that's why there is the first time, and that's why there is the second time. Second time, you already know what to do and how it feels. So it's just much easier. But yeah, it's just a little bit uncomfortable. That's it. Basically, you will feel, the audience, you will feel like you poop for 45 minutes with another person next to you. That's really good. And
So
of course, the massage on the stomach.
that's
And
where I was going next, that you do a little massage, and you seem to have this knowingness of where you're massaging and how that correlates with different things going on in your body or maybe in your life, and how, the mind body connection.
yeah, we have to remember, cleaning or colonics or detox, it's it's not just one cleanse. As I always say, cleaning shit might change your life because it's so connected, spiritual, physical, and emotional. It's a very important triangle because the cone is where all our emotions are, basically. And if I'm going back to yoga or meditations, all our chakras are going, starting basically on the bottom, on the base chakra, when again, where all the emotions are. And usually that's when we hide or hold are things. And that's the same thing reflected physical. So holding things, we create constipation. Changing things, we create some stomach issue, like colon issues in some areas. Emotions, like covering emotions or eating or holding or covering, it's again connect to your cone. So when you're allowing me to touch you, I'm touching you everywhere possible to your feeling as well. So I am touching your body, physical and emotional and spiritual. So and that's the only way for me to really help you. So when you release things, for the average person, it's going to be to release just poop or waste or toxins. For me, for the other hand, it's releasing also part of you that you've been holding up, so we can look at things differently. And that's when I'm coming to help you as a person, what is worth to release and get rid of, and what's holding you in your life. So you get a lot from just cleaning, and it's amazing relief, and it's a 45 minutes procedure.
It's more than just the colon cleanse itself, right? And so as everything's flushing through and you're doing a little bit of massage on the stomach, and you can see it go through, you get to look at it. So if you didn't like looking at it, well, now you're forced to look at it so you can see. And what type of water is that goes through the machine, and what is used?
The water that I'm using is pure water that goes under 4 filters and ultraviolet. So it's the purest you can get. So there is no, I want to say there is no calcium inside. So it's not going to be stone. So it's very pure. What you get inside is very pure. And that's how we clean. And I use hot water, and then it's turned into a little bit cold water. It depends on the pressure that we need. And I work with pressure that you need, that you as a person need. So each session will be different than the other because I'm not working with the same exact pressure all the time. And that's why I always have one hand on your cone to feel the pressure, because it's not enough that you're going to tell me how much comes out. And this is a small tip for anyone that goes to get colonics. I know a lot of therapists ask you to inhale and push as much as water as possible and hold as much as possible. I don't work like that. I work with pressure that I'm building slowly pressures. And I rather to push as many time water versus one big that's going to blow you up, because the cleanse will be the same cleanse. What's matter to me is that you're not going to suffer from so much cramps or so much pressure, because that's the last thing you're going to remember is, oh my God, I had a bad experience. And this is what happened to a lot of the people, that they had bad experience. And that's how that's what they remember, that the painful. So no, it shouldn't be painful. It should be a little bit uncomfortable, but definitely not painful.
It's
So
more
yeah.
like waves. Like I think about
Yeah,
like waves
anyway,
crashing. So like
up and
swells that come and like ebb and flow. I feel like that's what it was. And even when it would go clear for a while as you're looking through the machine of what comes through, I think like, well, I'm clean, I'm good. And then all of a sudden a wave would come and I'm like, where was that hiding? Okay, that's where do I go with the okay.
yeah, because when we push the water, some of the water still work. I'm not taking all the water out. So whatever stay there to work will come out eventually. And a small cleanse will clean you the same way as a big one will.
Yeah.
So
I was putting my lip balm on before, checking in with you. And I was thinking, I don't know what the song came to mind. Let's talk about poop, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about poop. Let's talk about poop. And I'm thinking that's your theme song. Salt and Pepper, I don't think would like the word poop removed, exchanged
I,
for the word sex, but I think it's kind of funny.
you're gonna laugh because I'm planning on having like a few big events talking about the same way as we do it in the podcast, just live. And as I'm thinking about a name for it, we were like talking about TED Talk, and I was like poop talk because it's like
It is poop talk. So, speaking of that, you have shit isn't a dirty word. What do you hope to, convey? What is conveyed in this book? What do you hope people take away from the book? Obviously, to remove the stigma behind what people think about it. But how is it going for you? It's.
oh, it's amazing. The whole idea of me having the book to begin with was through my clients, because so many came to me and was like, Karin, there is no information out there, because there is really no information out there. There is very dry information. What's colonic, what is benefit, blah, 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 blah. And I wanted people to really understand the whole thing, the whole theory, the whole ordeal about it. And my goal was to open up that door in people's mind, heart, to be aware, to listen, to not be ashamed, to break the taboo about it. So yeah, I was a little bit harsh and say like shit isn't a dirty word, because it's not. And let's face it, 90% of the people have issues with their gut. And if they don't have, they will have. So it's no one can really get out of it. So I wrote a book so people can have something to always go back to. And I wanted the reader to have the experience that you had when you first came into my clinic from the beginning, from A to Z. So the book telling that story, and for the reader, it's going to give you the vibe of having a session with me. So when you read, you will feel every word I'm saying. And it's a very funny book as well, because as you know me, I'm not a dry person. I'm talking about it, and I want you to feel comfortable. So I want you to feel comfortable when you read the book. So I wrote it on very simple level that everyone can understand word by word of what I do. There is a description of everything, minute by minute, of what we do. And of course, I'm making all the connection between fertility and cancer and gut and vitamins and some recipes and the importance of why we need to do and the beauty that comes from inside out. So you have everything in that book. It's very light, it's funny, it gives you all the information you ever need from my point of view. And you have there also my story, my life story with fertility, if you read the book. And that saved my life. I have 4 kids, so I'm not going to break it over read. But today I have 4 kids. So that's just a hint. And if I could help others, oh, that's made my day, because I'm all about to help people. And I'm going to finish that line with saying 15 years ago, and you're going to tell me, Karin, you're crazy. But about 15 years ago, to come out and say, I have cancer, I have breast cancer, was feel like coming out of the closet. Like gay people came 20 years ago. And you're going to tell me, Karin, what do you mean? And like people talk about cancer. No, people didn't talk about cancer 15 years ago, but people were sick and they were ashamed to talk about it. They were scared to talk about it. The same way people don't talk about their gut problem. And it's very important because I'm going to give you news, but colon cancer is, I think, number 2, if not either 3 or 2 in the world of death cause, and people
it definitely
don't
seems to be on the rise. And so
it's on the rise. And I'm nice when I'm saying number 2, but it's on the rise with so
no
many.
pun intended, number 2.
I know. And the bad thing about colon cancer is by the time you find out, it's too late, because the symptoms are going to be the same symptoms you have for any other stomach flu, stomach ache, or any other gut issues. And that's why I highly recommend to do colonoscopy once every few years if you reach the right age. And also, yes, look at your poop, on the colors, on shapes, smell. That can indicate so many disease around. And with that, you can actually go to the doctor and ask questions. Doctors are not God. And today, everything is really open. And as I mentioned before, colon cancer is on the rise. It's very dangerous, but yet you can treat it very easy if you catch it on time.
Early. Yeah. Well, and I think when I look online about colonics or really any kind of holistic care, I don't know that the information is completely accurate, because really what we're used to now is pharmaceuticals, and we have an issue and we take a pill or something of the sort, right? And really, when you do these different holistic treatments, whether it's colonic or something else, that affects so many different aspects of your body and multiple diseases or challenges that you have in your body that can be helped by doing one procedure, and
one or the other, or combined.
Right.
I want to say something about holistic medicine, and it's like correct what people think about that. Holistic medicine, or complete medicine, or alternative medicine for that matter, it's not alternative for anything. It's a combination that in a good world, like it's happened in Israel and in Europe and in Japan and in India, it doesn't happen in America, unfortunately. Alternative medicine is completing the regular medicine. Working together will bring amazing health. And that's the key that we need to look for. It's to combine the two together, because if we have appendicitis attack, I need the doctor to remove it. No holistic doctor will do it for me, right? But to heal, I need the holistic doctor. So that's the combination I'm talking about. That's the holistic. That's holistic come from the word whole, to complete, to be whole, to have integrative and to have alternative. So it's not alternative for anything, because the beginning of the medicine started with herbs. It didn't start with medical doctor. And that's what we really need to remember. So I want people to remember that when they use holistic method, it's to complete something that they did. And that's, you see miracle when it comes to cancer, or when it comes to depression, or when it comes to anxiety. The combination of the two, it's incredible. So that's when you want to look for what works for you, whether it's reflexology, massage, acupuncture, herbalist, Ayurveda. There is so many of those that can complete what your doctor started with. So with that being said, I see a lot of people that the doctor told them like, oh yeah, go do colonics. It's not gonna make any change for a cancer patient. And I'm like, that's what you tell a person, it's like, instead of sending them, to do colonics while they do chemotherapy and getting rid of the toxins or the poison, and their body will be much ready for the next treatment.
Mhm.
And then we can avoid constipation and other issues. But it's going to take time, and it's okay. That subject and the book I wrote, like my life, it needs time to digest. So yes, that information out there, it's like the cancer was 15 years ago. It took time for people to analyze and digest that it's okay. The same as holistic health. I mean, for me and you, it might be regular, but 10 years ago, people looked at me like I'm crazy. What are you doing? Massage? What? To just feel good? It's not just to have fun. I'm like, no, it's therapeutic. So yes, we need time to digest, to adapt to other things. More and more people are growing their own vegetable. Can you believe it? We're actually going backwards.
That's great.
It's like going
I
backwards.
always say that we knew the right way to move in the beginning, and now we're just going back to what we already knew.
Listen, with all the technology, and I have a lot of respect for the new world, but as we had COVID and disconnected, and people finally, found cooking in the house and not ordering from restaurant, or it teach us to look in a different angle. And this is exactly what happened in the world. We came forward so fast. It's like digestion. We swallow everything without digested, without chewing anything. And we have all that information that we can't even inhale. So that's why now we're throwing it up, or like we're puking it up. And now we're going baby steps backwards, because we remember we're going back to base, what makes us feel good. Talking to people, writing. A lot of the methods today is writing, like write your emotions, write your day. It's touching people, talking to people, not to just computers. Computers are amazing, but it's that extra mileage, extra know yourself. It's like getting break.
Definitely getting in touch with your body for sure, knowing your body. I mean, when I came to you the first time, I don't think I felt different the first time. I mean, I know you feel different each time, and everyone feels different depending. So that it was a Friday. Probably not the best time to come to you, because Friday's pizza night, pizza and wine night and movie night. So I didn't move away from that. I did drink some water, but I was fine. I mean, that's probably, when you flush out, I know you were saying like you want to put good things in your body. It wasn't bad pizza. I mean, it was healthy pizza. But I felt good, and I felt, great. The second time I did it, I actually got really tired. And I think maybe from the detox, it just, maybe makes you tired. And so I had a totally different feeling. So then I was like, okay, no pizza, no alcohol.
I wish they use Colonics in rehab center, because what we do is basically like a rehab. We are taking toxins out. And when your body is releasing those toxins, it's tired. It's a good tired though, because you feel it. You should feel it everywhere. Like great energy, lightheaded a little bit. But again, those feelings are going back to it. And a good tip, because you mentioned good pizza, and this is a good tip I give everybody. I know people look at me like a health guru or whatever it is. I'm a regular person like you. I love pizza sometimes. I like to drink a beer, margarita, and having fun. Being healthy for me, more than anything, is to be 80% happy. Happy with choices, happy with whatever you do. So if you like to have the pizza, have fun. Don't ever regret you had the pizza. When you regret, problem starts. And this is the tip for everybody. 80% be happy. And happy doesn't mean smile and fake smile. It's okay to be sad too, but happy meaning happy with all the choices you made. No looking back, no regrets whatsoever. Move on. Like tomorrow, there is another day. Tomorrow, don't eat pizza. Tomorrow, don't eat the cake. If you crave for chocolate, for God's sake, eat the chocolate. If you want to drink wine, eat wine. You can't be on fast or juice fasting all your life. And I'm not expecting you to do so. Only when you go to a phase you want to clean, amazing. Do 6 days, 7 cleanse days, and that's it. Other than that, 80% is happiness and true happiness. When you wake up in the morning, you gratitude for what you have. Sun is coming up, sun goes down. Energy always changing from every day. So don't drag things to the next day. You fight with your husband, amazing. After 1 hour, let it go. Don't drag it with you. That causes disease. So, and I know it causes also a lot of, it's a work. It doesn't happen in a day, but it's every single day you do something small. It's amazing. The other 20% leave for good food, good choices of food, exercise, and meditations and gratitude and everything. But all you need is really 20%, because that's my example to all of you. You can be very healthy, conscious, and drink juices and eat organic and everything. But from the other hand, take antidepressant pills. So that for me is the unbalance. So always try to look for balance in your life.
It's definitely the mind-body connection for sure. And that's a perfect example. So if you are, what should you look for in your, poop? Like when I think about, the Dr. Oz said it should be the consistency of toothpaste. And I thought, oh, okay.
Amazing. Okay. So those are the tips for everybody. Look for it. I know, it's good to look. First of all, it's good to look of what comes out of you. There is 5 or 6 different shapes. So if it comes small, like poop, like rabbit poop, that means there is blockages along the way.
Like little broken nuggets.
Balls. Yeah. That means there is constipation. Now, let me rephrase. Constipation doesn't mean you don't go to the restroom. Constipation means that you're not eliminate properly. That's
like not enough is coming out.
Right. So if you don't feel clean, you still have constipation. So the first sign is small poop, like little balls. That means you have constipation somewhere along the big cone. If it's too watery, too soft, same thing. That means there is blockage, but it also means that there is problem or maybe future problem with your stomach or digestion. Because if there is, I don't know if people see, but if this is the colon and things are stuck on both sides, the body needs to eliminate something. So it's going to eliminate it in like watery way. So that's no good. And it's also drain water of your body. So no, it's not good. Too soft, it's not good. But also go back to what you ate. Because if you ate a lot of fiber, that might make it soft. If you had magnesium, that will make it soft. So again, always go back to also what you ate or what you didn't.
Does the constipation cause dehydration, or is it because of dehydration?
It's because of dehydration. Mm-hmm. At the beginning, first, it's because of dehydration. Second, it can happen because we're holding too long. You know, those scenarios that you want to go to the restroom, but then you're like in the middle of the meeting and you tell yourself like, oh, I'm going to get to, and then it passes. And that's how you hold it for the next round to come.
I don't typically do that. I start in the morning. I like to do my morning. I'm going to talk about my schedule. I used to work with a guy who had a very specific schedule. Like he had to poop in the morning. Like it was like everybody knew. I'm like, that's weird because I mean, the whole team knew. But in the morning, I like to go before I take my shower. So, and then I typically don't really necessarily go again sometimes, but not necessarily. So are you really and I like to read. This is funny. I don't know if I told you this, but reading, it can't be a book. It can't be my phone. I like to read like, I guess what's called the Rag Mag or like an Us Weekly. I try not to buy them because it just seems like such a waste. But honestly, I poop so good. Somehow that pop culture information, these little blips, allows me to poop. And if I've read it before, that doesn't work either. It has to be fresh information.
because because you train your brain with signals of freedom. When you're free of your thoughts, you're not holding anything. So you let go. I mean, the biggest song in my office is let it go, because it is letting go of whatever holding. I mean, properly between 1 to 3 times a day, that's a very good thing to.
That's a lot of poop, Karin.
I
3 times a day? What? Okay.
If you eat 3 times a day, you might eliminate 3 times a day. Now, remember, it's like add a little bit more fibers. Test yourself of what causes you things. There is food that is more gassy than others, and that will, stop you from eliminating. So for that matter, it's a food combination, and it's to know your food that is more gassy than others. Don't eat too much of it. And with that saying, not everything that is healthy you need to eat, because sometimes cauliflower and cabbage and broccoli and asparagus, they're very healthy. But if you eat them in the same salad, you will have atomic bomb in your system. So,
and you probably don't want to eat that before seeing you.
No. This is the first thing I tell people. Please don't try. Yeah. So it's more about either read about it and look at what you eat, what you take, or over protein makes a lot of gas and also create a lot of constipation. So consistency, you want to look at poop that is going to be not too thick. I mean, not too thick, like I want to say that big.
Wow, that's a big poop.
Yeah, big piece. Good, good healthy piece. Not not light brown, but brown, not dark brown. If it's very dark brown, that means there is a lot of toxins. So you need to look at that, and also smell. If the smell is very strong, that means there is a lot of toxins in your body that you need to eliminate. And that brings us to a lot of gas and constipation. So you want to take a look at those things. And if it's yellow, that means your body's fighting something. So it can be stomach flu. A lot of people would see it after flu shots or any other vaccines. That means that the body was fighting something. So this is another way to look at it.
So if people are just listening, I just wanted to let them know that what you were holding up was, what is that, about 5-6 inches in length for the proper size? That's
about
pretty long. And then, so not dark, not like black, like tar. That could be a problem. Now, what about if
it's black? You better see a doctor. If it's black, that means that there is problem in your stomach, not just your colons. And the best way is to go to a doctor to have a stool test, which is very easy, very accurate. And if there is any problem, they will forward it next. But if there is not, it's always good to know. I don't know why people think that hiding is better. It's always good to know, even if it's bad words.
I guess they're scared of what the answer might be. Okay. What about like texture, like smooth versus like jagged edges?
That's if it's jagged
fine?
Edges, it's fine. But if it's dry, it obviously will be more jagged edge. But if it's smooth, that means there is more hydration, there is more moist or oil. So that's good. Like using of olive oil, it's wonderful. That will bring the smooth. You want to take a look at, like, to see also if your poop float or sink.
Oh, I don't think I've ever checked on that one. Dropping some kids in the pool, I don't really see if they float or sink.
Yeah. If it's float, it's a lot of gas. Again, toxins. So, yeah.
Very good to know. And so everyone can benefit from a colonic, obviously.
Yes.
Is there anyone who should not do one?
Yeah. There is always outsider. Yeah, if they have diverticulitis or Crohn's disease, if there is specific in disease that you don't want to take even the chance to do it. Crohn's disease, they poop all the time. You don't want to have colonics, obviously. And pregnancy on the first trimester, I don't recommend to do. Second trimester is amazing. Seizures like epilepsy, if they take their medication, that's fine. But that's why there is questionnaire, so we're not going to have any surprises. High blood pressure, if they have, I always recommend to have something next to us, like orange juice, something sweet, so in case of, we can always give. Other than that, everybody should benefit at least just to clean themselves. Now, if they don't do colonics, and we're going to my tips, they can do some magnesium or enema, like home enema will do it. But the key for everything, you want to clean first and then put good stuff in. So for those of you that take so many like supplements, know one thing, that 50% of the supplement we pee or we poop. So you only get about 50%. And if you go to the gym, you lose another 20%. So you only get about 30%. So make sure of what, like, how much you get from each vitamin, if it's even worth to take it, because you're actually losing a lot of it and it's not even going where it should. Now, if we're talking
have a vitamin line, right? You have a vitamin line.
Yeah, I have a vitamin line that's called Noah Vitamin, and I designed it specially for the gut health. So we have the probiotics, which are amazing, digestive enzymes, vitamin D and K, colon cleanser, elderberry, B12. And my favorite is my gummies, my apple cider gummies, that they're a kickstart for weight loss. And in general, they are just amazing kickstart and they taste good. Now, I designed those vitamins to help with all the gut issues. Doesn't matter what vitamin you do buy, make sure that on the label there is not that many ingredients, and don't buy combination. If you buy probiotics, for example, my probiotics, I have only 5 or 6 different probiotics. So that's the only thing that on the label. There is no combination of anything. So don't take a combination of probiotics and enzymes. Enzymes are enzymes, probiotics are probiotics. The less you have on the enzymes, the purer it is. So that's what you want to look for. You don't want to look for like a list, like a market list. No, we don't want that. You want to look for the ingredients. If it's vitamin D, you only want to see vitamin D. You don't want to see anything else inside. So that's a good tip for everybody. Pay a little bit extra dollar and get a good one versus something cheap that you don't get enough of that vitamin per capsule. Average can cost between $20 to $60 for the vitamins, and this is a good price out there. I think each bottle is for a month's supply, so if you break it down, it's $2, $3 per day. That's not a big deal, especially when you deal with your health. Now, about vitamin, you better clean your system first and then put your vitamin in, because like I said, it's not going to go to the right places. And don't take too many vitamins. That's not good either. My philosophy is 2 to 3 vitamins a day. That's what
2 to 3.
Yeah. Probiotics is 1. If you need colon cleanser, and this is not for life, a B12 is a second that I will highly recommend. Vitamin D, I will highly recommend right now, especially with flu. But again, this is not something you take for life, so you always change. But again, if you need a 4th one, is amazing, but not 15 of them.
Oh, right. No, not 15.
No. I have those health freaks that open, cabinet and start. No, this is good for retailer, not good for, for your health. In general, you can poison yourself with vitamin as well. So check with practitioners, with nutritionists. It's always good to check. Don't rely just on reading about it. This is what I recommend as far as my vitamin goes. It's mainly to the digestive health. beside the B12 and the D and the elderberry that can be very general.
Yeah. I started taking a lot more vitamins, when COVID came to our doorstep. So I do quercetin, zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D, and NAC. And those I take every day.
Amazing.
I don't do a B12, which I probably should. And then there's something called Counterattack, which is a mix. And those were before COVID, those have been my magic pills. Those, when I travel and I'm on the road, they're kind of this herbal blend with some C and zinc and some other herbs that I tell you, they are magic pills.
And they're amazing. And you already have vitamin C in your body. I don't think you need too much of it.
Mm-hmm.
So vitamin D, again, you need, because we don't have, we have enough sun, but we're not soaking the sun because of all the sun blockers. And I would change to probiotics, because probiotics will help you a lot more with your immune system than any other thing. So it's always about moderation and changing. I always recommend to change things. Don't ever be stuck on the same thing for the rest of your life, because then your body gets used to. And also have a checkup every 6 months, have a blood checkup and see if your levels are good, why take vitamin? It's like, take them from food.
Yeah, that's good advice. Did you want to offer any kind of discount for like the month, like a 30-day?
Of course, the months of January, as we do our cleanse, winter cleanse, New Year resolution, and I will be more generous. I will stretch it to a month and a half, because we're already half month.
Mm-hmm.
For all your audience, they can get a 10% off going through my website. I will have my guy put everything together for you.
Okay, so I'll put it in like a GWT.
Yeah, and it's going to be free shipping for everybody. So
okay,
here you go.
Do that. That's great.
And I'm launching 2 programs. It's going to be up very, very soon. We have 21-day challenge of clean diet that people can purchase, and it's going to be them for life. They have amazing list of grocery, how to do it step by step, and WhatsApp group to help people, and Candida cleanse for 7 days. And they have the choice to order it with the vitamins or without. And this is also amazing, like, step to start, to restart, to kickstart the new year. So yes, definitely we will put something together, and all your audience can get amazing discounts and free shipping. And also on my website, when they will go, there is a WhatsApp button. They can ask any question. I always answer fast. So whatever they need, they can always send us a message. I promise I'm fast.
Okay, good. Well, so we're talking to Karin Nahmani, and we were talking about having, I keep thinking colon cleanse and colonoscopy and not colonics. We're talking colonics.
Colonics. We're talking colonics. And before you wrap up, I just really want to give really amazing advice for all of everybody. It's a new year, a new you. Remember, beauty comes from inside out, not the opposite. You want to clean yourself, and the rest will clean with it. When you do a change, the environment change. So every small change you do, it's amazing. It's good. It's blessed. So you don't have to be a pro. You can ask questions. You can clean step by step. Look at your poop. See how you feel. Look at your skin tones. That tells you also a lot, energy-wise. And start fresh. Start this year fresh. Start like cleaning from inside. Colonics, colon cleanse, colon hydrotherapy is the same name for all those procedures. And
yes,
it's not as bad as it sounds like.
No, not at all. So it's purecenter.com. And Karin, we've talked about quite a few tips, but some of the things that people could do, you mentioned the vitamins, you mentioned what to look for, in your poop. Anything else to finalize?
Not really. I think I did cover. And make sure you poop.
Make sure you poop. I can't believe that people can go like a week without pooping. I mean, that's like, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's wild to me.
I know. Oh, and another advice is if you don't use the restroom more than one day, there is a problem. Don't wait for a third day to happen. That means there is constipation. So you can be used to feeling, but doesn't mean it's healthy. So please be aware. If you try to use every day, at least once a day, if you don't look back on your nutrition of what you eat, or hydrate yourself with more water, or ask professional, or come for a cleanse. I mean, we will help you.
It's so great. Well, here you have it, purecolonics.com. The colonics to the stars. We didn't even talk about that. I just figured you couldn't really like give any names, but I think that shows how you're talking about with the inside out, how you're cleaning from the inside out. And that must really show when people do come to you and they have a special, red carpet event that is really going to have all eyes on them, and how that could really make a difference, right?
I know. Well, I'm so close. We're about to have all those awards show coming out. So look at the red carpet. A lot of them gonna be shiny. And a tip, it's not from facial. It's also from facial, but it's mainly cleansing. A lot of cleanse. I have a lot of work in those shows.
That's good to know. I don't think people would even think that. They think, oh, what do they have done to their face? And what kind of facial is that? I mean, like you said, it's probably a combination, but again, it's from the inside out.
It's mainly from inside out. And of course, combination of all the rest of it. But the big ones out there, cleaning. They clean.
Well, thank you, Karin. I actually have to set up an appointment now, because now I didn't do my third and we went through the holidays. So I'm sort of starting over, but.
Yeah. And no, you don't start over. You just continue.
Well, this conversation will be continued as well. So I thank you for your time and sharing it, and choosing to care about people's health and taking such good care of them in this area. I think it's such an important topic that we don't talk enough about.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for giving the opportunity to reach as many people as possible, even to open the idea. That means really the world to me as a healer.
Yes.
I'll be more than happy, and have fun. And yes, read the book. The book is going to be
Shit isn't a dirty word. Shit isn't a dirty word. And you can find her book either from the website or on the
Barnes & Noble. Yeah.
Great. So this is Karin Nahmani, purecenter.com, and she's offering a discount for her detox with the code GWT. So thank you so much, Karin.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a blast, amazing year to come.
Thank you. You as well.
Clean one and healthy.
Yes. Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find me at Green with Tiffany. I'm your host, Tiffany Page. And please let us know on socials what you think. And I actually did a video of my session, little snippets. So I'll put together a little video and put that up as well, so you can see what it's all about. So thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share on Apple Podcasts. It would mean the world to me. You can find me at greenwithtiffany.com and on Instagram.